போர் தொழில் பழகு என்ற புத்தகத்தில் திரு வி இறை அன்பு IAS ஐயா அவர்கள் மாணவர்களுக்கு பாரதி போல் வீரமும், பகத்சிங் போல் துணிவும், வாஞ்சி போல் வைராகியமும், சிவா போல் சீற்றமும், வஉசி போல் ஆற்றலும், சிவாஜி போல் தலைமையும், ராணா போல் வலிமையும், பாபர் போல் பலமும், ராஜேந்திர சோழனை போல் அனைத்தும் பெற்று ஒளி மிகுந்த பாரதத்தை உருவாக்க வேண்டும் என்று கூறியிருக்கிறார்.
I kindly request our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Irai Anbu, to address the gathering.
Respected founder of this institution, Mr. Janardhanam, Mrs. Jayalakshmi Janardhanam, the Chief Executive of this institute, Mr. Taimana Swami, the principal, faculty members, parents, and children. This is a great moment for the children to have realized the fruits of their hard work for the past 1 year. And this is a moment that has to be cherished by the parents for the kind of guidance that they have given. It is also a moment of great satisfaction for the teachers, seeing their children receiving laurels, and every teacher would feel that actually the teacher is receiving the award instead of the student. And that is the magnanimity of the teachers. Teaching community is the only one which feels immense bliss when their students occupy premier positions. That is the only profession where devotion and dedication are the cardinal points, and while teaching, every teacher becomes a mother. While teaching, every teacher experiences the divine experience. And that is how, even today, the educational system is able to create a lot of individuals with originality and creativity. Mr. Janardhanam is a man to be revered and appreciated for the kind of initiative he has taken in creating a school in this area to educate the children from all walks of life. And he has to be applauded for the determination with which he has put in all efforts to make his educational institutions exemplary in nature by virtue of his sincerity and commitment. I always consider that still existence has some hope that the children will try to reform this world. They will bring a new fragrance to this world. They will bring a golden leaf to this world and enlighten this world. As Rabindranath Tagore said, still the God is not tired of his creation. That is why he creates children and sends them to the earth on the fervent hope that they would be changing the face of this earth. Your principal was mentioning about the poem of Khalil Gibran. Your children are not your children. They come through you, but not from you. Many a time, parents want their children to realize all the dreams which they were not able to realize. Parents become too anxious. someone might have got interest to become a doctor. It might not have been possible by virtue of the circumstances. Now he wants his son to become the doctor. Somebody may be interested in another profession. It may be engineering, it may be administration, it may be an aeronautics engineer. Now, this father or mother want the children to become what they could not become. And that is why so much of pressure is being put on the young kids. Right from the beginning, I find that the parents are so keen that their children should learn everything and they should get first prize in all the competitions. Given a chance, I would ask this school to experiment something which is very novel. You just say that the parents can compete instead of the children, whether it may be running race or drawing competition or mono acting. Just for a change, you can try this in the next annual day. You just say that the parents have to participate, and whichever parents win, the prize will go to the student and the certificate will be issued in the name of the student. Just try this. And you would find all these teachers dressed like this. Somebody will be, and it will be a great sight to watch. And the children will also be relieved of their burden. We have been seeing that somehow or other, the society constantly puts pressure on the parents, the relatives put pressure, the system puts pressure, the colleagues put pressure, the work environment puts pressure, and the parents tend to believe that if their son doesn't get good marks, their prestige is at stake. It almost always happens in the middle class families that the parents are so keen that their children should shine in their academics. I am not going to ask them to forego the education of the children, but kindly recapitulate the history that was taught in the schools. I would only say that history is not taught just for memorizing. We read biographies and autobiographies not to remember and reproduce in the answer sheets. They are all taught so that we can learn something from history. When we read the life of Napoleon, we should remember that nothing succeeds like success is not correct, and nothing fails like success is correct. When you read the life of Napoleon, you are swayed by the success and victories. He was continuously obtaining in the warfares, and at one point of time, he thought that he was invincible. And that was the reason why he made a faux pas in Russia, and that doomed the life and career of Napoleon. History is to be read with passion. And when you read the pages of history with a meditative attention, you will understand that all the people who have achieved greatness were miserable failures in their academics. Some of them were not even matriculates. Some of them were dismissed as dismal failures in the school. They never showed signs of genius when they were in the school. I can quote you Einstein, Faraday, Edison, Churchill, Bill Gates, Ramanujam, and all these people never had the marks of brilliance when they were in the school. Education has got nothing to do with the performance of an individual. But still, why should we admit our children in the school? The question naturally comes. You may argue that exceptions cannot become examples. The names I have quoted are exceptions. They are not examples. That is how we tend to find a reason. It always happens that the great minds will not be conditioned by the four walls of the school. Take, for example, Charles Darwin. His father was very much perturbed about his education. He was always observing nature, he was shooting dogs, he was going around observing the insects and birds, and his father thought that this man is thoroughly useless, and that is why he was sent on a voyage in the ship called Beagle. But Charles Darwin was responsible for a paradigm shift in the human consciousness, and people were able to understand something called theory of natural selection. I can quote so many names in history, science, mathematics, who never had a formal education, who never went to the schools, but they contributed significantly in the field of science, mathematics, geography, geology, physics, chemistry, and genetics. But today it is not possible for us to do something which Newton did, to do something which Einstein did, because something called the experimentation null hypothesis, proving certain facts, have become essential. So education cannot be dispensed with. Education has become highly mandatory. So non-formal education might have been successful in the last century, but certainly it is essential in the present century. So schools have become inevitable. But I am only asking the parents, don't become so panicky. I am of the opinion that the best school is the one where children go with joy and return with sorrow. If the children could go to a school with a lot of happiness, bubbling joy, and enjoy the school premises, love their teachers, admire them as though they are their parents, and come back sadly that the school was over within a short span of time, without any homework on their back, then that is the best school you could ever come across. I am for a school which doesn't torture the parents in the name of charts, projects, make them go around and ferret the charts of vegetables and fruits on Sunday evenings